Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Optics Trade Debates, where we discuss the most commonly given questions we receive from our customers and so on. My name is Tadej.
My name is Taylor. Hello.
Today we're going to talk about Leica red dots. This is a brand new red dot from Leica. Fyodor here will tell us more about this new red dot from Leica.
Well, Leica basically never produced anything in the segment of red dots. We also know that majority of other manufacturers in Europe were also shy of this area. So we know that Zeiss had one model or two models, Swarovski had none until now. So I would say that more or less this category is dominated by aimpoint. But lately some newcomers came into the play, and Leica was the last one. They showed to the public this Tempus aspherical red dot sight, a reflex red dot sight at EVA 2018. The delivery started in the mid-year or towards the end of 2018. And this is their first, I would say, try with red dots. They produced rifle scope until now. They produced many different models and are very successful with binoculars. And now they're producing the red dot. So they decided for the, I would say, well-proved and already well-accepted form of a reflex dot sight, and then they just tried to make it as good as possible. So today, if we go a little bit deeper, I know that we both studied everything about this Leica. You can tell us a little bit about the mounting solutions for this Leica Tempus red dot.
Well, the mounting solution is, I would say, the same as on doctor sights. This Leica Tempus is also supplied with two screws, which you screw into the doctor platform. And I would say, like, in terms of reflex sights, almost half or even more, 60% of all manufacturers, perhaps even more
probably
use this particular doctor sight platform. So it's the most basic, actually.
Yeah, it's well, the Leica comes without any mounting solution included.
Correct.
Like majority of red dot sights, and it uses completely the same platform as doctor.
Yeah.
So there is really a wide array of options how to mount it. We have a red doctor here, so basically it has the same footprint as the doctor sight, so no problem with mounting.
What of the dot size? I've read that there are some different dot sizes which you can choose from.
Well, currently there are two dot sizes, and they're always marked at the bottom. So 3.5, this is roughly 10 centimeters at 100 meters, and 2 MOA dot size. This one is roughly 6 centimeters on 100 meters. It's very interesting that at the moment those are the only two red dot sights available. So there is no bigger than 3.5. You can also regulate the intensity on these two buttons at the, on the left side, so plus and minus, and also has the system for the automatic turn off if you just store it in your gun cabinet or somewhere else. The dot is powered by a single CR2032 battery, which goes on this tray from the side, which is a very good solution, because with most of the doctor sight and similar types of red dots, there is always a problem that you need to remove the dot from the mount to reach the battery, which is under the housing. With Tempus, this is much easier, because the battery is stored in the tray on the side, so you can remove it anytime you wish and replace it, and you don't need to do a re-zeroing.
I think that quite many manufacturers go for this solution nowadays.
Lately, yeah.
I know that Vortex also has some red dots with this particular style. MIK also has this one.
Yeah.
So it's quite popular with.
Yeah, it's smart, because the doctor was the first and it worked well, but each time you needed to replace the battery, you lost the zero. You removed the dot from it. And the second thing is that this Leica Tempus dot is completely waterproof, because usually those dots which have the battery beneath the housing, they always need a special gasket to provide waterproofness. So I think this is a much better solution now. Regarding the dot size, so 2 MOA, 6 centimeters on 100 meters, and 3.5 MOA, 10 centimeters on 100 meters. That basically means that these red dots are only meant for rifles. They're also quite big, so on a handgun I would say that they are too heavy and too big, which is very popular lately. And I'm quite shocked that Leica didn't went into this direction, because more and more people uses reflex red dot sights on handguns. But Leica decided to make 3.5 MOA the biggest dot size, which is usually a little bit too small for handguns, and to produce the dot which is quite big and heavy, and as such not the best choice for handguns.
Yeah, I know Doctor just starts at 3.5 MOA for rifles, and where Leica ends. And then 7 MOA for handguns. So we would say it's not suitable for handguns. Yeah,
and it's also true that some other manufacturers which are more orientated towards handgun users, like Seymour, they even have 8 MOA dot sizes. And also I think the Shield sight, they also. So this is basically meant for hunters or for tactical shooters, but for use on rifles. Today it comes with a cover. So what does this cover, which benefit it brings to the user?
Well, with this cover you gain, I would say you are protected, the red dot is protected with some environmental effects. I don't know if you have it on, if it falls down from a particular height, yeah, like this, it offers some sort of protection, I would say.
Against bumps and probably also against rain, because and snow, because I know that the biggest problem with reflex red dot size or I would say challenge, is that if the snow or rain comes in between the diode, which is at the end of the dot, and between the glass, then you have problems with optical performance.
Well, I would say it still can come into the red dot itself, but it has some protection because this upper part is protected if you have it on, so it offers some protection. Yeah.
It's interesting because lately fully enclosed red dot sights are also quite popular. I know that Steiner has one,
MRS.
Holosun has one, then now the new one from Aimpoint, Acro, it's also P1. Fully enclosed, but it's reflex type. So this I would say brings you halfway to fully enclosed.
Yeah.
If a glass would be put on this rear part, then it would be fully enclosed.
Okay, we covered some basic features regarding this red dot sight. If we go more into the depth of this red dot, what are the optical properties of this red dot sight?
Well, when we first tested it, it's really good. It's probably one of the best, if not the best, red dot sight available on the market at the moment. So the glass is quite big. It has almost no tint. A little bit of bluish tint, but when you look directly through it, you don't really see it. And it's really, really clear, and there is no magnification, because we know that with some red dots you get a little bit of magnification. So I know that with some Doctor models you get 1.07 or something like that, so close to 1.1. With Leica there is none, and also the dot definition it's really, really nice. So basically it's one of the most expensive reflex red dot sights on the market, and the quality is noticeable when you look through it. It's made in Portugal in Leica's factory, so it's not like some kind of OEM product bought from Japan or from China and just rebranded. It's a really fully Leica product, and the quality is here. You can easily see it, and in use you really see that the dot is really fine-tunable, the intensity, and it's really crisp and nicely defined as a circular dot. So it's not like a star or something, which you can see in a cheaper reflex red dot sights. So today you already did some zeroing with it. How does it zero?
Well, like a conventional red dot, reflex red dot sight, this Leica Tempus also has the, I would say the turret, basically the screws.
Yeah.
You can see it has up and down screws, the upper one, and on the right side of the dot, it's for the right and left side. Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
What is very interesting is that you can basically, you can hear the clicks.
Yeah, just do it something. Closer to your microphone.
Okay.
People will hear.
It's interesting. You can actually hear the clicks, because with most red dot sights, you move, you manipulate this screw, and you cannot hear the clicks.
Yeah, they're just continuous.
They're continuous
travel, and it's
correct.
It's really hard sometimes to accurately zero it, because it's so hard, and you always have this scale outside, let's say with doctors and others, and it's so hard. But with Leica you have clicks, and when you shoot you see, okay, I have to do an adjustment of, let's say, 6 MOA. How many clicks do you have to do?
It's very easy, because it has 1 click, 1 MOA per click. So
okay,
it's
so
very
6 clicks for 6 MOA.
It's pretty straightforward.
For European viewers, 1 MOA is approximately 3 centimeters on 100 meters. So that basically means you take the scale or something to measure. You measure how many centimeters it is from the center of the target to your point of impact. And when you see it's, let's say, 30 centimeters, you know, okay, I have to do 10 clicks.
Yeah, it's quite easy, because with this you look like you would be on your rifle scope. Yeah. Because you actually have clicks.
I have to be honest, I think this is the biggest advantage of this dot, or one of the biggest, aside the really good optical performance, is this clicking. And because usually the mechanism in reflex dot sights is not as good as here. There is also one screw at the rear where you lock the position. So you zero it and then you lock it, and that means basically that you secure your setting, your zero.
Okay, during this review we already mentioned some positive features and some downsides, but let's say, what are the best benefits of buying these red dot sights, and what are the downsides?
Okay, if we do a short summary, I would say the biggest upside or the biggest selling factor for this is the quality. The build quality, the optical quality, the optical performance, really the dot definition, the clearness of the glass, and general build quality. This is the first really good upside. The next one is the system for zeroing. In my opinion, it's probably the best at the moment in reflex dot sights. I have not come across a better one until now. Another upsell, or I would say an upside, is that it uses doctor mounting solutions, because they're so widespread. All mounting manufacturers produce mounts for doctor sights, and this one goes directly on it. What are the downsides? It's really expensive. If you compare to other reflex sights, it's more expensive than all the rest. But on the other side is also the quality is better than all the rest. It costs, like, let's say, 100 euros more than the best doctor, but the quality is also better, higher. Yeah. The other downside is it's a little bit too big for handguns. Well, it's not meant for handguns, and I would say that it would really be a good idea to produce, in today's time, if Leica would produce a dot which would go either on handguns, either on rifles. I would also say the downside is that you're not able to choose it with a 7 MOA dot, just for diversity. People are different, some prefer bigger dots, others prefer smaller dots. I know that with manufacturing, it's always a problem to have so many different models. It's better to have less of them. But still, there are some customers which would buy this if it would have a bigger dot. I would say the final upside is also the cover. It's not really expensive thing, it's not a big thing, but it does help you. It doesn't interfere with optical performance. There is almost no influence from the cover, but it does protect the dot from bumps and from rain and so on. So a small thing, but a much better and much more clever solution than majority of other red dots that have a cover which just encloses the whole dot and you're not able to use it with a cover. Yeah, indeed. So what is also positive, the last thing I think I forgot, is the battery.
It's
battery
the last thing.
The last thing, yeah. The battery tray, so that you don't lose zero when you need to replace the battery. All in all, a great product. A little bit expensive, but when you compare it with others, you do get better quality, you do get better features for those additional premium price. Yeah, okay. So now we know a bit more about Leica Tempus. However, if you still have some additional questions, perhaps a bit more specific,
you can contact us anytime and we'll be happy to reply. Take care, until next time.
Bye.